Now we review Rescue Rangers Season 1, Adventures in Squirrel Sitting. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am Richard, this is Random Street Theater, and I have seen the original late 80s Rescue Rangers television show episode, Adventures in Squirrel Sitting. Before I get into that, let me of course remind you that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that, so eventually trash will get to the squirrels. Anyway, the Chippendales Rescue Rangers are on the trail of Fat Cat, who has stolen the Maltese mouse. If you will remember, the Maltese Falcon is considered one of the greatest film noirs in human history. Okay? If there is one film noir, it is the Maltese Falcon. And they're parodying it with the Maltese mouse. The title of this, Adventures in Squirrel Sitting, is a parody of the 80s film, much beloved, Adventures in Babysitting. So what happens is, in recovering the Maltese mouse, or rather not so recovering it, the Rangers screw up a squirrel's home and wind up having to babysit the squirrel's children. One of these children has a thing for Chip, and then in the end they return to a search for the mouse. There are a lot of things in this episode. To me, it's kind of cringeworthy because you're dealing with young love and the infatuation of an underage squirrel with a adult chipmunk. And in fact, given how old Chip and Dale are, I mean, they would be very old chipmunks. It's never actually established how old they are, but I mean, they have been around for a very long time at this point. So exactly how old these characters should be, we don't know. And then you have cross-dressing in this episode as well. And you have a lizard and a mole trying to make out with a chipmunk, which again, it's weird. How does breeding work in this universe? If Chip and Dale, if Chip or Dale got with Gadget, would their children be mice, chipmunks, a hybrid of the two? You know, because we've only seen creatures having children that are them. We don't see, like, you know, an alligator having a child that's an iguana. You have a squirrel that's children is a squirrel, okay? And a chipmunk is a ground squirrel, and those two things do breed, but I have never heard of a mouse hybridizing with a chipmunk, or a lizard hybridizing with a chipmunk, although I'm sure somewhere along the lines there has been a chipmunk and a lizard that have tried. But I digress. So these things, they make the episode kind of awkward for me. I mean, I have to admit, I don't really care for this episode because there's too many issues and not enough, you know, sleuthing. And in fact, the central conflict of what I call this episode doesn't even come up till about midway or even past the midway point. However, the morals for you to understand is, you know, for one thing, don't try to impress people. Okay? When you try to impress people, bad things happen. And, you know, don't go running off half-cocked. So, be honest, be true, and, you know, don't put yourself in bad situations in order to make other people like you. That's the morals of this episode. Now, again, if I had to pick another episode to watch a second time, it would not be this one. I have to admit that it's just not my cup of tea. But, you know, if you like mushy stuff and cross-dressing, yeah. Also, this episode, Fat Cat dances, and there is an awesome dance number in this. So the music for this episode does stand out as a highlight of the series. Which, I mean, I would watch that scene over again. Again, if you're a fan of the Rescue Rangers, you're probably a fan of this. If you're not a fan of the Rescue Rangers, mushy stuff and dancing. Do you like that? If you do, watch this episode. Anyway, that's just... What is going on outside? There's like a car or something, and it's making funny engine sounds. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Comments below. I'm Richard. Is it recording? Are you sure? Are you sure it's recording? Little red dot. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it. Little red dot on the screen thing. Right, okay, so it's recording. Right. I'm Barry. Barry the strawberry poison dart frog, right? Yes. And I come from the WWF, that's World Wildlife Fund, and I was symbolically adopted by Random Street Theater, okay? And that means that they're not going to tear my house down. So good. So I would like you to help not tear my house down, and you could do that by commenting on this video. Yes, and you could like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And, you know, these necklaces I'm wearing, you see, those things are actually bracelets for humans. For every 1,000 subscribers, this channel will buy one. And every time they do that, it means a pound of trash is going to be pulled out of the ocean. And you can help, you can make the world cleaner and better. For animals like me. So please, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Barry.